This is just Bob Bowman, and I'm coming at you with another video. And in this video, the topic is protect your neck. Like the old Wu Tang album, the very first Wu Tang album said, the title, Protect Your Neck. And what do I mean by protect your neck? First, I want to talk about the YS Osiris and Sukiana situation. As you saw earlier this week, there was an incident where they were having some playful banter with each other, and he took it a little bit too far and he kissed her on the lips, and she said that she was assaulted by him because it was unwanted and it was forced upon her. And it took a few days after him not only privately but publicly apologizing, and also seeing some of the responses from other D-list celebrities and what they had to say when she finally came out on Instagram and accepted his apology and said that she was ready to move forward with her life. And one thing that I noticed is that when she put out that public statement, she didn't allow any comments to be left for that statement that she put out. And there's a reason why. Because the sisterhood in general was ready to pounce on him. And me being who I am, I understand what it means to be canceled, what it means to be ostracized and pointed out and to be brutally beaten down by the sisterhood and having these allegations put on you, um, where it could be over exaggerated, and you could be made to be looked like a predator. You can made to be looked as somebody that's uh, uh, a predator, weird, creepy. They throw all these derogatory terminologies at a person, you know, especially if they have a target on hand that they want to destroy. They will do that and they will make it public so they can make sure to end that person's career or that person's social status. And they do it all the time. And he would have caught it on a higher scale than I did, because I'm nowhere near where he's at, because not only is he young, but he has a lot of money, he has a lot of social status, he has a lot of fame, he has a lot more opportunities than I've ever had in my life. And so with that being said, they were itching to create what um, my father, I've heard him use this terminology. I've heard Coach Greg Adams use this terminology. I've heard DS1 Ross use this terminology. And what is that? High value target. And a lot of men, they spend a lot of their time trying to be those so-called high value men that Kevin Samuels talk about. And they do the things that they're supposed to do to become those high value men. And they get targeted because of that, and they end up having their reputations ruined, possibly having their finances collapse because of it, having business ventures disappear, not being able to maintain and stabilize what's going on, not being able to salvage what's going on. And these people usually have other family members that they're taking care of. So it's taking food out of other people's mouths that people don't even know about, you know. And a lot of these men have a lot of responsibilities like that, especially the black ones, because we come from a poor community and we don't want to just abandon those that's close to us. If we have a lot of money, we do want to help those out, even though it's not really talked about or discussed or even praised within the community that we come from. So with that being said, it really hurts a lot of people overall when they do things like this. And we have to understand that this type of thing is happening now, is going to keep happening, and it's going to get worse. And the reason why is because of something called climate change. And when I'm talking about climate change, it's not just about the weather. We understand that there's some type of climate change going on with the weather, but there's a change going on socially, politically, financially, globally, and spiritually. Now, let me break these down. Socially, we see that there's a gender war that's going on. Some of us, we choose to participate. Some of us, like myself, we choose not to participate, even though we have to keep our defenses up because we understand the type of climate that's going on, and we have to be on guard at all times, and we cannot allow ourselves to be put into situations where we're guilty until being proven innocent. Then politically, we see the agendas that's being pushed politically, and I'm not going to go into each and every one of them, but we see what's happening with the roles of gender. We see what's happening with the expectations of certain people, the stereotypes of other people, and how this is being played on the political field. Financially, this is a big one. We see how inflation is killing the dollar currently, where things cost way more than what they used to cost, and it's harder to live, and people are becoming more desperate. Jobs are being lost. Businesses are moving to different countries. And this has been going on, not even just within the past couple of years. This has been a steadily up rising tick throughout the time from when I was even born. And so this political and this social climate has also affected us financially, because now we have people that want to, figure out different ways to get money. They figure out ways to sue companies, either through technology or people that they feel that have wronged them in the past. We see this going on globally. The climate has changed. We see these wars happening. We see the threat of World War III currently as I make this video. We don't know if the major war is going to pop off or not. Everybody is on pins and needles about that globally. And then spiritually, some people are becoming more spiritually awakened, while more people are becoming more docile when it comes to spirituality. And we have a lot of false teachers out here. We have a lot of churches not really teaching the Bible the way that it needs to be taught, because they are under the government agenda that's going on currently as well. So certain things they cannot talk about or discuss that's in the Bible. And with that being said, we have to understand the type of social climate that we're in, and that is not safe. It's even dangerous for me to talk about it the way that I'm talking about it right now, because a lot of people don't want what I'm saying out there too much. They want to try to censor us to a certain extent where I can't say exactly what it is that I'm trying, but the ones that's intelligent, they can understand exactly what it is that I'm saying, the different changes that's happening, and it's getting worse. And it's going to cause a lot of strife and a lot of more division in the future. And if they make the changes in which they are talking about implementing, such as carbon emissions standards and social credit scores and things of that nature, if they make those changes like that, as well as eliminating paper money and going straight digital with the money, and where the government has control over how much a person receives and how much they take away from them if they say or do different things, if these things happen, the climate really will change to the point to where we will be on the brink of no return. And I say all these things is that we have to check the climate temperature. We have to check the temperature on what's going on in the world, and we cannot play too much and break boundaries, even if we don't understand what those boundaries are. One thing that I will say is that we have to understand that under no circumstances, unless we get consent, do not touch the merchandise of somebody else's. And that means that person's body. I don't care, like, not even putting your hand on them or anything, because of the current social status that is out here for everybody. The temperature is way too hot. And I don't care how a woman presents herself. And she can present herself in the nastiest way that she wants. But if she does not give you consent to do what it is that you would like to do not try to persuade her. Do not try to talk her into it. And definitely do not try to force it on her. And also, you have to keep in mind the mind state that that woman could possibly be in, even if she gives you consent or gives you choosing signals. Let me give you an example. Last night, I was at a bar and I had a couple of drinks. I didn't want to drink too much because, I was still driving or whatever. And I only wanted to kind of like unwind and soothe from the weekend or the week that I had because it was pretty rough. But it was this one white woman that came in and she was about average looking and she was inebriated. Like I'm talking about she was sloppy drunk. And she had a couple of altercations with a couple of people in the bar. And I'm not going to talk about that. But then eventually she came around me and she was stumbling. I offered her the seat that I was sitting in and I slid over to the other seat, because I didn't want any trouble with her. I didn't want her to put her hands on me, really. I just wanted her to feel comfortable to where she would be able to do what it is that she needed to do and possibly move away from me. So she sat down or whatever. And then this lady put her hand on my leg and I had to remove her hand from my leg. And, she was giving me choosing signals real strong. But I was like, nah, I'm not even going to, deal with her like this. She's totally sloppy drunk. And eventually she moved away from me. And when I was younger, I would have jumped on that opportunity, to be honest with you. But now that I'm older and now that I understand the type of climate that we're living under, that is a no-no. Under any circumstances, that's a no-no. I wouldn't even want to interact with a person like that, because that's dangerous. That could put me in jail for a long time, and I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that I'm not perfect, but at the same time, I'm not going to do something I know deliberately isn't morally correct. You know what I'm saying? And we are in a situation right now to where things that we've done way in the past could possibly bite us in the butt currently. But before I get into that, I want to talk about Sukiana. We all know about the type of songs that she comes up with. She got a song right now where she talks about eating the posterior of a man. And somebody told me about this clip of her on the Hub, if you know what I'm talking about. And I saw that clip of her on the Hub, and I was like, wow, she's really putting herself out there. Like she's putting a certain image out there. It might not be what it is that we think personally what it is, but she's portraying it as that. She's portraying the 304 culture, even if she's not a 304 and that was her boyfriend that she was with. But at the same time, she knows that she's throwing this 304 culture out there and she's trying to promote this image. That's something that she's going to do because she's getting paid for it. And that's what she's getting paid for. And there's a lot of shame that comes with the 304 culture, which a lot of men possibly don't understand. And it's like these women, they understand the shame that comes with it. You know, they have a lot of shame when they know that they're not doing things right. And for them to feel better about themselves, why not tear down these men and put shame on them? You understand what I'm saying? It's to help them with relieving themselves of those bad feelings that they might have about themselves because of the certain lifestyle choices that they made. And if they find that you are a good target to take all that frustration out on and to put all that shame on and to create ostracism for you, they will do it. Especially if they know they're never going to get things in the way in their life that they wanted. They will use you as a punching bag. And sometimes they get people that will encourage them to use you as a punching bag because they know that they want to tear you down. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is something that's been going on, and DS1 Ross talked about this, and I was like, wow, this makes a lot of sense. It kind of helped me with understanding why it is that I went through what I went through. And it doesn't matter if she was actually a 304, you know? It doesn't matter. Like, we have to respect other people's boundaries. If the person doesn't want to have sex with you, leave them alone. I don't care if they having sex with everybody else around you, but they choose not to do it with you. Don't feel any type of way about it. Don't feel salty about it. Just go about your day. And it doesn't even matter if she has sex with you before. If she doesn't want to have sex with you again, leave her alone. And there's many reasons why a person to get cut off. It's not just about, oh, this dude whacking sex or anything like that. No, it couldn't be that. Like, she could have possibly found somebody else that she actually liked and want to be with seriously, and she didn't want to go down that path with you. Or she just wanted to have that power to say no to somebody, even though she knew that both of y'all mutually enjoyed it, even though you might have enjoyed it a little bit more than she did. But she has the power to say, no, I don't want to do it with you anymore because, hey, that makes her feel like she got some type of control. And it builds and boosts up her self-esteem because she feels certain shames in her life. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot of ways that you got to think about this. You got to think about what it is that you're doing. You got to think about the environment that you're living in. Because if you don't think about it, it can hurt you really bad. The point of the matter is that boundaries need to be respected no matter what. Now, if that person want to come back and they want to change their mind, it's up to you if you're going to accept them changing their mind or not. But other than that, respect those boundaries. And as a black man in society, we are guilty until proven innocent. And even if we messed up decades ago, and we've seen this in the cases of Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, uh, you know, we see that even though YS Osiris was he was forgiven for this incident with Sukiana, somebody else came out with an accusation about him. Who knows if that's true or not? But everybody is going to bring up this situation with Sukiana and say, well, he did it with her before, so who's to say that he didn't do it this time? And even if the claims aren't really proven, just the fact that you have all these different stories out here about you that's out here, and it couldn't be, and most of it or all of it might not be true, it's going to look really bad on you. And sometimes people want your reputation to be ruined like that. And you got to understand that this is what's going on currently. So sometimes it's not always good to have a lot of money, because if you get caught into scandals like this, you're going to have people trying to sue you and take money from you. It's happened to the Game. He lost $5 million in court because he was accused of sexual assault. You know, so if we want our boundaries to be respected, we must respect others. If we want respect as bachelors who have boundaries of not being forced into relationships with women that we're not attracted to, we have to respect the boundaries of the women that we like but think we're dusty or broke or whatever negative connotation that they want to put on us. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we just have to respect it, move forward, don't allow it to, get buried in our brains too much. It might make us upset or irritate a little bit, but hey, it's up to you on how you're going to deal with that. But at the same time, we still got to respect those boundaries. We want to have respect as international travelers. If we traveling overseas and dating women over there, or we saving our monies, and once we get a chance to go on vacations or have a retirement or be able to retire early because of injuries or anything like that, to where we could go to another country and just live the rest of our lives the way that we want. But we still got to respect the boundaries of those women over there as well. But at the same time, if we want to deal with those women over there and don't want to deal with the women here in the States, that's our prerogative. You understand what I'm saying? And if our intimacy with women are nothing more than business deals, and you understand what I mean when I say business deals, so be it, and not shame us. We won't shame the women that partake in those business deals, if you understand what I'm saying. Read between the lines. And the men that go along with those business deals. That's between those two people. It should be between those two people, and they shouldn't discuss it with anybody else outside of themselves. And monk mode should be respected. If a person doesn't want to be involved in a relationship or don't want to even be intimate with a person and they want to just stay to themselves, that should be respected. So what I'm saying is that we have to protect our necks as men, especially black men. We have to protect our necks and understand the type of world that we live in currently. Understand that it is hard and it is harsh and it is difficult out here, and that there are people just waiting to destroy you as much as they can. Like, I know that I went through it. They didn't destroy me as much as they wanted to, but at the same time, I am still being a productive member of society, whether they like it or not. So, with that being said, this is just Bob Bowman. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And I am out.